All right, we got all-out Broncos 18-58. Can Denver win the AFC West? Can they? Sure. All 4 teams in that division right now have 5 wins. The issue is, when I really think about the overall, we'll say, structure of every single AFC West team, I do see Denver being the weakest. I've been very impressed by Teddy Bridgewater. I've been impressed overall by Javonte Williams. He's been a hell of a running back. Them losing out on Von Miller in that defense, having a few injuries, does make it a little shaky. I'll still say no, I don't think they're going to win it, but sure, man. I mean, anything's possible in the NFL. What up, Jimbo Slice? Will the Broncos re-sign Courtland Sutton? It's a good question. I'm a big fan of Courtland Sutton. He's got 41 grabs, 588 yards, 2 touchdowns. And when he was first coming out of SMU, for those of you that don't know, I live in Dallas, Texas. And I've only been to one college football game down here, and it was an SMU game. And it was actually, in fact, to watch Courtland run some routes because I was hearing a lot of hype about him. I wanted to see exactly what happened. He's a hell of a receiver. But if I was Courtland, I would actually say go to the free agent market and see what you can get out there because the salary cap's about to go up. He's probably the 3rd or 4th best receiver about to hit the free agent market behind only Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson. I would say he's better than Michael Gallup. It's between him and Chris Godwin for me for that number 3 spot. But if I was Denver, yes, I would figure out a way to go ahead and bring him back. But if I was Courtland, I'd say, man, go hit the free agent market and go get yourself paid.
From All Out Broncos 1858, rate the AFC West teams by the way they've played this season. So I will factor in preseason expectations here. So at 4, Kansas City. Not been good this year. The other 3 are a little bit even, a little bit tighter. Because the Chargers are in first place in the AFC West, I got to put them in number 1. I think given all the Raiders have gone through, I'll put them at number 2. Then the Broncos there at number 3. Some boost for the expectations entering this year. The Chiefs I'll keep last because they haven't been very good. From Prestige Worldwide, are the Broncos a playoff team? Everyone was hyping Dallas up, and Denver boat raced them in their own home, which is true. If Denver plays like that moving forward, yes, they are. They are right now on the outside looking in on a rather deep and confusing AFC playoff picture. This, of course, before the Steelers-Bears game this Monday night. I think they don't make it. I think they do come back down to earth at least a little bit. And what makes things tricky for the Broncos is they play in one of the best divisions in football, the AFC West. And I don't think they win. Now, maybe you disagree. If so, here's your chance to let me know. Type LAC for the Chargers. Type KC for the Chiefs. DEN for the Denver Broncos. Or LV for the Raiders. I think I go Chargers, but I'm not sure. Let me know. AFC West champs, get those votes in for me. The predictions, I should say, in the comments section. From Big Chungus, are the Broncos good or are the Cowboys just bad? I would lean towards a little both. I think the Cowboys are a good team. I don't think it's fair to ignore the first 6 games in favor of just one. I think that's doing a disservice to your eval. But the Cowboys were bad in that game. The Broncos were good in that game. So maybe a bit of a fluke, but if I have to pick one of those 2, look, Denver was good. Cowboys were bad in that game. I don't think it's fair to ignore the other 7 games combined to focus on just the most recent one.
What up, Michael Kerr? Appreciate you watching the show. As always, use hashtag NFL or Super Chat, SubChat Sports. How do you think a Broncos line will fare for the rest of the year and prediction on the record? Are they going to make the playoffs? I'll say no to the playoffs because, again, I really think that they're the 4th best team in that division. I'll go ahead and say that they're going to finish the year with 8 wins. So, what? That's 8 and 9. I'm still not 100% used to this brand new schedule. Their offensive line is average to me, maybe a little bit below average at times. They can run the football, but they had a good game against Dallas where they were able to be physical, and not many teams can be physical for an entire game against the Cowboys because a lot of teams are usually trailing against them. But I'm going to say no, man. Sorry. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Sorry to you. Sorry to Sam. All right, guys. Thanksgiving. I don't know if you can tell. I am starving in. I love desserts. And I cannot wait, and I mean I cannot wait for the amount of dessert that I'm going to eat the day before Thanksgiving, because with the Raiders-Cowboys game, I'm going to be actually here in the studio doing a watch party with maybe Tom? I don't know. But what's the better Thanksgiving Day pie? I want you to type P for pumpkin, or I want you to scroll on down and type A for apple. Now, if I didn't get to your question here on today's live show, remember, y'all, you can always hit me up on IG. Hell, you can even hit me up on Twitter. I'm at MitchellRenz365. Slide in my DMs, ask me your question. Give me about a week, and I promise I'll get to it.
All right, from Shanav, Denver drafts Malik Willis. That was my mock draft pick. We will link it in the comment section in the description for you guys of this mailbag vid. From Mark Kearns, what type of prospect is Desmond Ridder? Look, I like Ridder. I don't see consistency in his accuracy, and I don't see consistency in his ability to make good decisions. I think that inconsistency is a major problem. Good athlete, solid arm. I don't see the level of peak play to justify a round one pick. I think Ridder has a pretty solid NFL career as a backup quarterback. I'm not sold on him as a top-of-the-line franchise starter. Michael Kerr, seems to me a lot of past bust or backup quarterbacks have a little surge this year. Would you be smarter teams to hunt for a quarterback to get a vet and draft O-line depth in a weak quarterback draft? Probably what I would do. I mean, you could have some good QBs in the trade block. You could have an Aaron Rodgers, a Russell Wilson, I guess a Kirk Cousins, technically speaking. So I do think teams will want that veteran quarterback. If they don't get one, then I think they would go look at the draft class, because the way it works out, free agency comes first. Trades come first, then you look at the NFL draft. From Spencer Rattler, will Von Miller retire after this year? No. That unless he gets really hurt, he can still play at a high level. Somebody will sign him. Probably not the Rams in NFL free agency.
Connor Clark, who is your defensive rookie of the year minus Micah Parsons? Mine is also Micah Parsons. He's been an absolute dominant feature in that Cowboys defense. His ability to play edge has been definitely a difference maker for him. I'll throw out Odafe Owe definitely being up there. I'm going to give some love to my man Nate Hobbs. He's been phenomenal for the Raiders. Probably some other guys. Patrick Surtain, though, I believe he's been battling some injuries of late. Those would probably be my top candidates thus far. This next one's coming in from Barrett B49. What up, Barrett B? Who's the most underrated team right now? So this is actually a pretty good question here. In terms of what exactly is an underrated team, I'll say a team that nobody is really thinking about because they've lost a few games and they're 3-5. I'm going to throw out the team, the Seattle Seahawks, who they're about to get back Russell Wilson. You can make the argument that they're the worst team in that current division. But at 3-5, do not sleep on Seattle for making a late playoff push, because if Russ is in the game, they're at least going to have an opportunity. If somebody wants to give me another team name, I might throw out the New England Patriots, who've been playing much better football. Also, the Atlanta Falcons. They're sneaky 4-4, and if they beat Dallas this week, oh yeah, get on the Atlanta hype train. Noah Dye, you're next up here on NFL Daily. What top quarterback 2022 prospect will or might go in the first round, or do you think it will be the second round? So again, quarterback prospects this year are very difficult in the draft. I would say the top 3 quarterbacks right now are probably Pickett from Pittsburgh, which blows my mind saying. Malik Willis has to be in that conversation, and then Matt Corral. Obviously, I've been eating that Golden Corral too much, but I would say all 3 of them have a shot, obviously, going in the first round, and the more and closer we get to the draft, you're going to see teams start hyping up quarterbacks, and as always, guys are going to go early. I will say this, though. The last time that I remember people talking about NFL draft classes being a weak group was, I believe, 2017. And a few quarterbacks that came out of that group were Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. And you can say what you want about Deshaun, but both of them have a lot of talent.
Now, if you want to get your questions featured on any of our mailbag shows, then you got to be subscribed. Otherwise, you miss out on all of our videos here at Chat Sports. And we do these mailbags live, so got to be watching live. That's a pretty simple result right there. So sub right now if you want to join us in the future for more live NFL mailbags. The Lunatic, if the NFL expands to 34 teams, which 2 cities are added? I don't know. Maybe they had an overseas team or non-USA team in some capacity. Maybe they bring back a St. Louis team. There's some legal issues there going on that I think are a bit of a problem from that perspective. So, maybe that's a route they end up trying to go in the end. From Riley Gamer, what's the best team in the NFL? The Cardinals they have the best record, and they took it to the Cardinals with a backup quarterback in without DeAndre Hopkins too. I think the Cardinals are the best team right now. From Jillian, who do you think is the biggest contender in the NFC and the AFC? The byes mean a lot this year. NFC, I think there are 5 teams. Cardinals, Rams, Packers, Bucks, Cowboys. Pick one. You're probably right. AFC, Titans. Without Derrick Henry, you feel less about, but they just beat the Rams. Maybe it's the Titans. Chargers have not been consistent. The Bills, I think I'm going to go with Bills. They lost to the Jags. The AFC, a bit inconsistent and a bit more wide open.
Now, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and if I'm being 100% legit with y'all, I'm not the biggest fan of Thanksgiving food, so I want to put this one out here. What's the better Thanksgiving side? Is it mashed potatoes or is it stuffing? Please type M for mashed potatoes, or you can go ahead and type S for stuffing. If you're the kind of person that's like, you know what, man, I just like to mix everything, you can go ahead and type SM down in the comments. If I had to pick between both, I would say I would rather have good stuffing over good mashed potatoes, because I think mashed potatoes are a little bit simple personally, but both of them I usually end up passing on if I'm being 100% honest. Looking at a lot of the comments, I'm seeing a lot of S's. I do know this. Tom's favorite thing to eat on Thanksgiving is mashed potatoes, which maybe that tells you a little bit more about Tom.
From Cody the GOAT, what position is the weakest in the 2022 NFL Draft? I think quarterback, from what we've had in recent years, really stands out as a not great position grouping to deal with. Top of running back is not great. I think some of the bottom, the depth is solid. I don't love the tight end class either, because my boy Jaleel Billingsley was a head case for Alabama this year, which kind of sucks. I like the defensive ends. DT's a bit thin near the top, but quarterback stands out the most to me.